kasih.
Okay.
Sorry. Is there anything to say? You can speak first. Okay, 我们开始。对不起 for sorry. Dr. Bu will begin.
Tomorrow morning, besok pagi adalah hari penamaan. Di kawasan Gelang Patah menjadi tumpuan untuk seluruh negara, dan kita telah mesyuarat dengan pihak polis. Penyokong kita akan berkumpul di Jalan Tun Teja, sebelah depan restoran Mido di sini, dan akan berarak dari pukul 8 dan diberikan jalan ke Jalan Skudai, lepas tu masuk ke Dewan Serbaguna belakang MPJPT. Di sini dua perkara. Satu, kita menyeru penyokong kita, pihak Pakatan dan juga Barisan Nasional bertindak secara tenang dan harmoni, sebab kita nak, dari pihak Pakatan, kita nak satu pilihan raya yang bersih, aman dan juga bermakna. Kita menegakkan demokrasi secara matang. Yang kedua, kita menyeru semua penyokong Pakatan memakai baju berwarna-warni, khasnya baju kuning, untuk kempen bersih. Baju merah, ini adalah baju penyokong DAP, dan baju hijau untuk isu-isu berkenaan dengan alam sekitar, dan ada baju oranye, itu untuk isu tanah, hak milik tanah, khasnya isu hak milik tanah di Felda. Yang selain itu adalah baju berwarna purple, ungu, warna ungu, itu untuk hak wanita, kalangan wanita. Kita rasa kalau pakai baju, kecuali lah baju berwarna biru tua, dark blue, we don't encourage lah. Light blue adalah warna biru muda adalah untuk keadilan. Sebab kalau kita pakai baju berwarna-warni, menunjukkan kita orang Malaysia memang optimis, memara ke depan dengan harapan. Pakatan adalah harapan untuk semua kalangan masyarakat. Tomorrow is the Monumentation Day, so Gelang Patah has become the center of attention for the whole nation. We urge all parties, including Pakatan and BN supporters, to carry out the procession peacefully and maturely. And on October 28 last year, in Skudai, when DAP had a mammoth dinner of 10,000 people, already took the oath together with our leaders to pledge for peaceful transition, whatever is going to happen during the election time or after the election. We urge our supporters to take the election result calmly and peacefully. So we also urge the BN supporters and leaders will do likewise. So the procession will begin at in front of Mido, restaurant Mido, and we move forward towards School Hope, and we turn right and go to Jalan Skudai and to reach MPJPT. So the nomination usually is at Serbaguna, Dewan Serbaguna, MPJPT. We also urge all our supporters wear in various colours. Yellow for Persay, a clean election. Red for actually our DAP official colour. Light blue, but not dark blue. Light blue for keadilan. And orange colour, warna jingga, is for Felda and also our land rights. And purple colour is for women's rights. So that represent optimism of all Malaysian people for change, for change in Malaysia, and we want to move forward. We are very optimistic and happy mood tomorrow. Okay, that's fine.
OK，讲话
明天是提名日了，那么正林山国会选区也成为了我们全世界的这个焦点因为林吉祥同志在这里上阵，那么也是我们非常重要的意义。那么我们也呼吁正林山区、斯古莱区的人民，还有努沙嘉义的州选区人民，在明天提名日的时候，表现出我们成熟、民主、和平的这个方式，要求变。所以我们呼吁所有的人民穿不同颜色的衣服，包括呢，黄色是代表这个干净选举运动，绿色是代表环保，红色是我们行动党一贯来的这个颜色，代表性颜色，紫色是代表女权，橙色是代表这个土地，人民拥有土地的这个权利。所以这各种颜色是代表人民不同的心声之外，我相信穿不同颜色色彩缤纷的这个气氛呢，代表了我们人民的这个乐观带着乐观，还有就是很兴奋高兴的这种正面的这个积极的这个精神来求变就是有一个心理的这个上的这个反应呢，求变是不是那么可怕的而是色彩缤纷，很有very optimistic and 非常乐观非常 joyous mood to face any change。那么在去年11月28号，我们行动办万人宴的时候，有1万人和我们领袖一起宣誓，确保这个选举要干净，还有以和平的这个气氛来进行。那么我们也准备接受任何的这个成败。那么我们也要求国政的领袖和这个国政领袖和他们的支持者，表达同样的这个精神，这个和平、民主和成熟的这个精神。那么我们会从这个美都餐馆附近一个空地，一直步行到这个好希望这个大酒店，然后右转到斯古莱大路，然后朝向这个市议会的方向走去。所以我们要求我们支持者踊跃的参与，因为很多支持者已经打电话来了ramai penyokong yang telefon besok nak berkumpul kat mana lah. So kita berharap mereka berdisiplin dan beraman damai. 我们希望我们支持者保持一定的这个纪律，带着这个愉快和这个乐观的心情来参与。谢谢。
Okay, thank you very much. Yang pertama, saya mengumumkan mengenai ahli calon kita untuk lapis saudara Ramakrishnan, senator bekas senator Ramakrishnan, dia akan menjadi calon untuk lapis yang itulah sempurnakan senarai kita dalam Johor. So 他将会成为我们的lapis的国会纪委的候选人。Okay. I have a prepared statement. Okay, let's begin. March 18, before then, has been the most heart-rending day in my life. The day when the Registrar of Societies dispatched a letter to the DAP to knock out the rocket symbol. From the 13 GE. nomination day, less than 48 hours away, completely without any legal basis or plausible ground. I was not the only one. To shed tears yesterday. As all over the country, many DAP stalwarts and supporters who are Malaysian patriots whose home and sole object of loyalty is Malaysia, and do not know or recognize another country as their motherland, also cried at the injustice, oppression, and the iniquity of the ROS action, clearly at the behest of the political masters in UMNO and BN. For 47 years, DAP had waged a patriotic, nationalistic, but uphill battle to build a united, multiracial, just and democratic Malaysian nation. With many leaders like Dr. Chan Manin, Ahmad Noor, Pipatu, Ibrahim Singh, Fas Jaya, Peter Dason, Laudaki, Lim Chor Hock, B. David, Kapal Singh, Chiang Heng Kai, Chan Kok Kit, Tan Seng Kiao, Lim Kuan Eng, Tan Kok Wai, Teresa Kok, paying a heavy personal price in their love, patriotism, and loyalty to Malaysia. Including losing their personal liberties, enduring detention under the Internal Security Act, imprisonment and disqualification as MP, and disenfranchisement of their civil rights, such as the right to vote and to stand for elections for a period of time. DAP leaders and supporters have a different vision for Malaysia from those of the UMNO BN leaders. And the greatest difference is whether Malaysia should continue to practice the exclusive politics of race or should begin an inclusive politics for all Malaysians, regardless of race, religion, or region. But their love, loyalty, and patriotism for Malaysia cannot be questioned. And it is a great test of the maturity of the Malaysian nation building and democratic and democracy, whether there is room and space in the country's political process for dissent and diversity of views without equating them with disloyalty, anti-national activities, or even treason. The ROS action on the directive of the political masters in Putrajaya to knock out the rocket symbol from the 13 GE is the most dastardly, oppressive, undemocratic, and dishonorable act of the 56-year UMNO BN rule. An act no Malay gentleman political leader like Dato' On Jaafar, Tun Hussein On, Tunku Abdul Rahman, Tun Ismail, Tun Razak would have countenanced or be a party to. And it runs counter to the very grain of civility and being a gentleman or chinzi. In fact, never before under the 5 previous Prime Ministers of Tunku Abdul Rahman, Tun Razak, Tun Hussein, even Tun Mahathir and Tun Abdullah had any more devious and diabolical plot been hatched in utter disregard of the most rudimentary rules and principles of good and democratic governance than the disgraceful ROS gambit to knock out a long-established political party from freely and democratically participating in the general elections of the country by outlawing the symbol of the rocket logo. Clearly, the ROS action is meant to be a blow to the solar plexus to completely knock out the DAP in the 13 GE, a plot which had been hatched and refined by the ROS political masters in the past few months, And this explains the rumors on the MCA UMNO grapevine since the beginning of the year that DAP would not be allowed to use the rocket symbol in the 13 GE. Now we have the MCA president shedding crocodile's tears, asking that the DAP should be allowed to use the rocket symbol in the 13 GE. I will not be surprised if the MCA leadership is the main culprit behind the ROS decision, appealing for help from the UMNO Big Brother to give a fatal blow to the DAP, in the same way that the MCA leadership has surrendered Gelang Patah seat to UMNO so that Johor Menteri Besar Gani Osman could be fielded to kill me in Gelang Patah. In today's press, there is a cacophony of contradictory reports quoting different government officials, emitting different noises. From the DAP cannot use the rocket symbol to the DAP can use the rocket symbol. One of the saddest legacies of 56 years of UMNO-BN rule is that independent, neutral and professional institutions and government officers have lost public credibility, trust and confidence, as in the ROS letter 2 days before 13G nomination day, declaring that the government does not recognize the DAP-CEC 4 months after their election. Not recognizing the DAP-CEC can only mean not recognizing the DAP Secretary General Lim Kit Siang, and the collateral consequence of not recognizing his authorization of the use of rocket symbol by the 53 parliamentary and 103 DAP State Assembly candidates. At the end, DAP, 53 DAP parliamentary and 10 and 103 DAP State Assembly candidates. The long decades of undemocratic, draconian and authoritarian UMNO-BN rule have destroyed the efficiency, independence and professionalism of one of the best civil services in the world. When the country achieved independence 56 years ago in 1957, resulting in the monstrous action by the ROS letter to the DAP yesterday. The refusal of the ROS to recognize the DAP-CEC and the consequent disallowance of the use of rocket in the 13 GE is the new and latest reason why there must be a change of the government on May the 5th, so that a start could be made to restore the reputation, credibility and integrity of the Malaysian civil service as among the top best civil services in the world. I thank the PKR and past leaders, including in particular Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, Tok Guru Nik Aziz, Dato' Sri Hadi Awang, past Secretary General Mustafa Ali and PKR Secretary General Saifuddin Nasution for their understanding, support and comradeship in coming to the assistance of DAP in our crisis because of the ROS action at the behest of the UMNO-BN leadership. PR leaders had sought to register the Pakatan Rakyat as a political coalition under the Societies Act. But for more than 3 years, we encountered seemingly insuperable obstacles, all emanating from the political masters in Putrajaya, refusing to register Pakatan Rakyat so that PR candidates of all the 3 political parties, DAP, PAS and PKR, can use a common symbol. It should be cannot use a common symbol. Cannot use a common symbol. How the Societies Act, now the Societies Act and the Registrar of Societies have been suborned and undermined to serve the political interests of the powers that be in UMNO-BN. I fully agree with Anwar that the ROS action is part of the dirty tricks lined up by UMNO-BN to cheat in the 13 GE by making it impossible for the DAP to use the rocket logo in the coming January elections. DAP leaders, candidates, members and supporters are not going to be deterred or demoralized to fight the great and good fight to achieve for the first time political change at the federal level in the 13 GE, even if we have to temporarily forego the rocket logo and to use the logo of PAS and PKR. In fact, we are even more determined to translate our shock and sorrow into strength and power for change. The rocket symbol has stood tall in Malaysian politics in the past 47 years, standing for integrity, honesty, justice, the rule of law, good governance, and Malaysian patriotism. It will be sorely missed if rocket is not allowed to be used in the 13 GE because the UMNO-BN government is too afraid of the DAP. And on the appeal of MCA, prepared to break all principles of good and democratic governance to knock out the rocket in the 13 GE.
what is in store for the future with the DAP use of PAS and PKR symbols in the 13 GE. In the first place, my chances of winning Gelang Patah has plummeted further from the 50-50 before the announcement of Ghani Osman's candidacy to 45-55 with Ghani's candidacy, and now 40 to 60% with a ban on the rocket symbol in the GE. Can I catch up to go above 50% in the context with Ghani Osman? The second outcome to the DAP use of the PAS and PKR logo is either a disaster in the making for the DAP nationwide, or it will become a game changer in the 13 GE that will propel Pakatan Rakyat all the way from Gelang Patah to Putrajaya. Only the counting of votes cast on May the 5th will tell which outcome will happen. Any questions before I come to a third item? You weren't here, huh? Then I come to a third item. Today, of course, is the last day before nomination on tomorrow. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 20 incumbents, MPs, no MPs, isn't it? We have about 20 incumbents, MPs and SAs who have not been renominated by the party in the 13th general election. 4 in Penang, 1 in Kedah, 4 in Perak, 6 in Selangor, 1 in Negeri Sembilan, and 3 in Johor. I want to thank them for their services to the party in the last 5 years, whether in the parliament or in the respective state assemblies. They've all contributed to the cause that the DAP stood for a just, equal, free Malaysia where there is rule of law, transparency, good governance. They have not been renominated, not because that they are lacking in integrity or feelings, but because inevitably with the limitation of seats and strategic considerations, there will have to be changes and movements moving forward. And it does not mean that they have feelings which whether publicly a result of rumor mongering, or whether reported in the press. So I want to pay tribute to them, and I will call on all these who have not been renominated to serve the party in other aspects. They can serve the party in other aspects because contesting and to be elected as MP or SA is not the only way to serve the party. There are other ways to serve the party. There are many ways to serve the party and the cause for a just, equal and fair Malaysia. I mean, some of the more noted former electoral reps who have not been renominated will include, for instance, from Selangor, Ronnie Liu, Du Tian Chiu, Dennis Lee, Lim Kit Siang, Manok Haran, Philip Tan, Chen Chun Sui. Of course, in Johor we have Dong Hien, Lam Hua, and in Perak we have Liang Mei Min, Yao Tianhe, and others lah. And of course in Penang, I urge them. Of course, I'm sure some of them are very disappointed, but I urge them to serve the party in other capacities and other aspects. In particular, in the 13th general election, which is going to be a do or die battle, especially with the UMNO and BN doing their utmost to scrape the bottom of the barrel, come up with all sorts of dirty tricks to try to defeat and save themselves, to defeat the DAP and the PR and to save themselves. They can, all of them can contribute to ensure that we can be able to survive in the do or die battle. In particular, Liu Tianqiu, Yang Meimin, Yin Xia, and our three former assemblymen in Johor, I will urge them in particular to come forward to help, whether in Gelang, Patah, or whether in any state where the stakes are very high, and to put the DAP's party interests, to put the PR interests, to put the interests of the country above everything else, to put aside their disappointments, their unhappiness, and in the next 16 days, go all out to serve. And in appreciation of what they can do in these 60 days, the party would definitely give recognition, whether at the state government level if we form a government, or at the federal government level if we succeed in reaching Putrajaya. There are other forms where they can continue to contribute. So I hope that they will not allow their disappointments to spoil their very good party record of service and dedication and sacrifice. Okay, you know what,
Sir, on those who have declared that they are going to stand as an independent, what kind of action?
I will urge them to change their mind. I will urge them to change their mind. That of course, I mean, natural human beings to be disappointed, but they must always put the interests of the party and the people above everything else. And this is the time; it will be a crucial testing time for them. And I will urge them not to resort to such a foolhardy action.
But if let's say
no, I don't think we need to go into that. I think the message is very clear, isn't it? I urge them not to.
Will you behave like? Will you be like them not to actually set the sabotage?
I think we can leave those post-election consequences to post-election period.
Berkenaan dengan ROS sekiranya tak boleh pakai logo, mana satu yang akan diambil?
Dalam Princess Penanjung kita akan menggunakan simbol PAS, dan di Sabah dan Sarawak kita akan menggunakan simbol PKR.
Do you see any consequences as a result of using the PAS logo?
That's why I said it could be a disaster in the making. It can be a big disaster. If we cannot get people to understand and see that we are forced into this situation, that if temporarily we should put aside a rocket, use bulan or mata, and we can't get the message across, people do not understand, then it will be a disaster. We'll be losing right and left. But if we can get the people to understand the injustice and the outrage and the anger, how can the government do such a thing? And it is a final, the last straw. It should be regarded as the last straw of a government which has gone too long without proper check and balance. And the only way to change this government, to transform this government, is for a new beginning, to introduce a concept of a coalition, of a two-party coalition. Then I think this could be the game changer. It could be a game changer where we can even win even more seats at the parliamentary and the state level than before this. So it could be swing either way. It could be a disaster in the making, disaster for the DAP, or it could be the very element which will ensure that Pakatan Rakyat can reach all the way to Putrajaya, because the people will have enough about the abuses of power. This is a gross case of abuse of power, and even in election, at the very last day, they can even have such a blatant and flagrant abuse of power, it is time for change. It will be the last straw. Let it be the last straw, and we can get that message across. The last straw, then it will be a game changer. It will be the last condition to ensure the defeat, ensure that Najib will be the last UMNO Prime Minister, the defeat of BN and Pakatan Rakyat, establishing a government in Putrajaya with Anwar Ibrahim as the Prime Minister. So whether it's going to be the last straw, whether it's going to be the game changer, we have to wait until the votes are counted. You don't know. It's either very good or very bad. But then we are taking very high risk lah.
What's your personal take on that? Judging from this?
I still don't know. Until we have to go out. We have to use the symbol. We're campaigning on the bulan or the DAP or bulan and bulan. Then of course,
with the deadline just like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think good because
it's certain that you guys will be using.
So if that's the case, then so we will submit to the people. Either we are facing a disaster in the making, or we are facing a fantastic, unprecedented game changer. And if it's an unprecedented game changer, then if if Najib is voted out of Putrajaya, he must thank not so much the ROS, because we know the ROS is only carrying out his job by political masters. You must thank these political consultants of his.
Sir, this morning that the movement said he has
Who?
more capable to win Gelang Patah because this experience in Johor. So what do you
This is my chances are 40-60. The chances are 40-60. You know, I already gone from 50-50 to 45-55 to 40-60. So now my future is the hands of the people of Gelang Patah. So he may be right.
So adakah parti komponen
Sorry?
setuju dengan keputusan nak gunakan logo?
Ya, terima kasih kepada mereka bahawa in an hour of need, in an hour of crisis, mereka dengan serta-merta tampil ke depan untuk memberi segala yang perlu.
But the candidate need not to join those party, right?
No. We are DAP members, the DAP candidates, but you're using past symbol. Our stand on various issues remain the same.
Will it cause a problem in nomination stage, because we know that we need someone to second the nomination?
No. The question, when your nomination papers, it doesn't need to show what party you are. It's only the use of a symbol for that. After your nomination accepted, which symbol you will use.
So this will present a problem when this will present a problem when ballot slips are marked. So how do you plan on getting the message out that
Yes, that's right. But then, of course, on nomination day, if we decide by tomorrow, we have to tell them it's going to be a rocket or it's going to be bulan, and in Sabah and Sarawak it's going to be the eye. It will appear on the ballot paper. And then it's our job whether we can reach the people. If we can reach the people, then a game changer. If we can reach the people, then a disaster in the making. Then we'll all be,
how do you plan?
wiped out.
Will you intensify the ceramahs? Will you what?
Then I will leave it to the Johor State Chairman. Can you answer that?
Yeah, will you intensify the ceramahs or conduct more outreach to the people in light of the situation? And if it does happen that you have to use pass or
Yeah, I mean, things will go on as usual.
What will be seeking him on as far as that statement is concerned? Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, Wadi, another question, because in the statement you mentioned that you suspect this is the work of MCA. Could you elaborate more?
Because they were already spreading the MCA grapevine. The last few months, they were already saying that the DAB will not be allowed to stand, or there is the rocket symbol. So we didn't take it very seriously. But now that it would appear to be collaborated, that they were in the know. They were in the know very early, and if they, how is they could be in the know? That they were, of course.
May I know who from the MCA actually?
Up and down the country, we got the grapevine, and then we heard this grapevine that they are talking about at their meeting. They say, "Don't worry lah, DAP finished lah. No, they want to be rocket cannot use and all that." So they can only come from above. They come from above, it will be of course my good friend. We announced a list. It is a list for. It's agreed by PR. There should be. We should be able to see a one-to-one fight. Whatever our differences, leading up to the seats allocations. Thank you very much. Anything to say? You may want to interview our LABES candidate. I hand him to your tender mercies.
提名时间是9点啊，9点到11点，9点到10点，9点10。7点半，7点了。
luahkan kemarahan kita secara aman dan secara produktif pada 5 hari bulan Mei, hari pembuangan undi. Saudara-saudari sekalian, tuan-tuan puan-puan, pada masa yang sama, sekiranya kita tak boleh gunakan simbol roket, rakan-rakan parti kita telah pun menghurulkan simbol mereka untuk kegunaan parti DAP, termasuk PAS bulan, PKR